Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, somebody come in the chat soon and make sure y'all can hear me. Because it's the one thing I can't stand. I get on this freaking StreamYard and I'm like, I got mad stuff to say. And then I don't realize that I'm on mute or that StreamYard is in some glitch. I'm breaking up. Nobody can hear. So annoying. But anywho, I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. My Thursday is interesting. I'm on my way to a whole nother state to take my son, who got really, really sick from COVID in January. He sees all these different specialists now, one of them being a cardiologist. So I'm on my way to New York City to take him to see his cardiologist. So I am on the road big time, trying to head on out. So that's fun. That's fun. And if you are in the bushes, put a comment in the chat so I know my volume is working, because I don't want to be going and going and y'all can't hear me. You know what I mean? That would suck. So do me that fave, and then I'll get into the topic. But yeah, if you haven't seen my Instagram, I've been buying these freaking drawstring ponytails off of Amazon, and when I tell you these things are turning out to be some straight up lifesavers, like you don't even know. Like this ponytail is giving me all kinds of life. But I'm gonna get into the topic because you know me, I don't like to linger on forever and ever and ever. If you come into the live and you can't hear me, let me know. Leave a little chit chat in the comment section and let a sister know. But today's topic is all about honor versus legacy. And it made me think, like I've been really thinking about this Will and Jada situation. Good morning, FJ. Thank you for letting me know. I've been really thinking about this Will and Jada situation. It's like been so heavy on my mind. And I went down this like rabbit hole yesterday, and I was like, I really want to come on my live and talk about this concept of honor versus legacy, because I think where most people are split in terms of what went down with Will and Jada. I mean, most people in our Black community, right? Not necessarily other people who just like violence in general is wrong and you shouldn't put your hands on anybody. Of course, I understand that argument, but I want to like simplify it a little bit and just do this like this dichotomy of like honor versus legacy, and like when you are a woman who's with a man, whether you're Black or white, if you're a woman who's with a man and y'all have kids together and this man has a successful career, you have a successful career, and you guys get into situations, you don't even have to be a celebrity. I'm talking like successful career, like neither one of y'all have criminal records, y'all both go to work every day, y'all have a home, y'all have kids, y'all got cars, y'all got assets in the bank, y'all got investment, like y'all got real stuff to lose, like not no hood rat hoodlum crap. I'm talking like y'all really got stuff to lose and y'all trying to build something sustainable for your future, for yourself or for your kids. And your man or your husband gets accosted by somebody who challenges their masculinity, or they get accosted by somebody who challenges your femininity, who challenges your position as his wife or as his girlfriend, and whether or not that man should act out of impulse and out of emotion. So one of my main pillars, and it's just me, I'm just speaking as a woman, I feel like one of my main roles and responsibilities inside of my household is to keep my man at peace as much as possible, as stable as possible, and as like focused on the right path as possible. Like I am a believer that while men's role in the house is to protect the home, you know, to make sure that the yard is clean, make sure that the kids, you know, are well behaved, you know, from like a discipline perspective, making sure that he takes care of me as his wife and he gives me attention, buys me gifts, like makes me feel appreciated and loved in the house, and also share in some of the household responsibilities, because that's just how I believe the household should be run. However, I feel like the mindset of the household, like where we're like the mentality of the household as a wife, is all about making sure that your husband, it has as much peace around him as possible to focus on the greater goals that the family has. And if those greater goals is acquiring wealth, traveling, you know, buying property, whether he wants to get moved forward in his career, like my role as his wife is to make sure that any obstacles that might be in his way in terms of him being able to lead our family, are as easy to navigate as possible, or as stress free. Good morning, T. Or are as stress free as possible when it comes to navigating them. So like me, I see my role as the stress reliever. Like, babe, what could I do to make this easier for you and kind of make us stay on task? So if I'm out in the street with my husband, and this has happened before, like my husband has like he's a super duper nice guy, but he got a slick volatile temper. Like when it comes to somebody kind of disrespecting him, he got a little bit of a volatile temper. And I remember vividly, like this is before we even got married. I remember us like driving. We were going to a summer jam. We were going to summer jam, which is, if you don't know what summer jam is this huge concert that's ran by Hot 97, which is like a big radio station in the metropolitan area, and they throw us a concert every summer. It's usually a whole bunch of black people there. It's usually wild and crazy. Everybody get all dressed up, and then people have a good time, and it gets a little rowdy. So we were on our way to Summer Jam one year, and I remember this guy kept cutting us off, trying to like switch lanes. And my husband's like, "You're not cutting in front of me. Like I've been waiting in this line the whole time. You're gonna wait too." And the guy kept on trying to cut us off. So much so that him and my husband got into a little bit of a road rage situation, and the dude ended up pulling over, and my husband pulled over like, "What's up?" My husband reached in the back seat of the car and grabbed a club. You remember when you used to have clubs on your car to like prevent people from stealing your car? This is like, when we used to live in the hood. So we had a club. So he reached in the back seat to grab his club, and he opened the door, and he was about to get out of the car, and literally him and this dude was about to get into a straight up brawl. And I remember like pleading with him. Like, I just remember pleading with him, "Babe, please get back in the car. Please get back in the car. Please don't fight this man." Now, granted, this dude who was trying to cut us off was damn wrong, and he said some disrespectful things to my husband out the window. My husband felt approached, but I had to think, if I'm trying to be this man's wife and I'm trying to make sure that we have a future together for our kids, I cannot let you jump out of the car and beat somebody to a pulp because they called you a name or because they said something disrespectful to us. Why? Because while you're busy defending your honor, I feel like as your wife, it's my responsibility to make sure we defend our legacy. And our legacy is that we are building something for our kids. And I think people underestimate the amount of, black men who don't have a criminal record, who never been to jail before, who never been arrested. Like, the population of black men who never been arrested or been to jail, even if it was for one night, is very small. The amount of black men who get higher charges for a crime because they're black is very high. The justice system is not fair toward us. It's not fair toward our people. We're not treated the same. And this is just not about racism. This is a statistical fact. So to me, I feel like when you are a black woman with a black man, you got to calculate all of those things, and really weigh in and be like, is this situation necessarily worth what we're about to risk? Because sometimes you let your emotions stop you from building a legacy. You could two white people might smack each other, and the cops might come and say, "All right, you guys, go home. Y'all apologize, shake hands, and let's call it a night." But if a black person and a white person get into a fight, the cops is coming. They coming swinging. Like, I know you guys have seen those videos of the black kid and the white kid fighting in the mall, and the cops came and the white kid started the fight, but the black kid ended up getting his knee put in his back, arrested, and the white kid got set on a bench and handed a bottle of water. Like, this is a real thing. Like, this is a real thing. The world is not fair. It does not treat us fairly, and then, it's unfortunate, but it's true. So I feel like as my husband's wife, I'm risk mitigation at all times. That's the role I see myself. I see myself as risk mitigation. Like, I'm constantly trying to figure out where are our risks and like how can I mitigate our risks as a family so that you can continue to thrive as a black man in this country, and that you can continue to be a good, strong leader and an example for our children on how to handle themselves accordingly. Because a great movie about this concept. 1 second, T. I'm gonna read your comment in 1 second, but I want to get this thought out. One great movie that I feel depicts this concept very well is the movie Troy. Have you guys ever seen the movie Troy with Brad Pitt, where he plays Achilles, and it's a movie about two kings, Agamemnon, and then the king of Troy, and then his son, his brother, the prince goes to Sparta, and decides to fall in love with Helen, and brings Helen and tries to get her on the boat and sneak her back into Troy. And he basically gets challenged, and his brother's like, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting here trying to defend your honor against Agamemnon by stealing his wife, but you're neglecting the fact that you are ruining your father's legacy, which is the kingdom that he's built in Troy. And the brother honestly didn't give two rat's asses. He was like, no, this is about my honor. I love this woman. I'm willing to die for her. Like, I'm willing to die for this woman. And the reality of the situation is it was a very short-sighted approach, because not only him defending his honor and trying to have this woman cost him his father's kingdom that he worked hundreds of years to defend. It cost him his brother, because Achilles ended up killing his brother. It cost him everything that he ever loved. He lost trying to defend one woman. And that's the difference between honor versus legacy. That's a short-sighted approach to me to long-term success. It's super short-sighted. Like, I don't your honor is how you want people to remember you. It's how you think of yourself. Honor is very ego-driven. It's an ego-driven emotion. It's like, I'm not going to let you disrespect my honor. Like, that's ego-driven. But when you think about your legacy is how you want others to remember you. And that requires you to not think so much about your own ego. That requires you to think about the greater good more than you think about the small losses that happen to you along the way. And when you lose sight of that, I cannot think of one single person who has defended their honor and ended up winning in this situation. It never works out like that. You might get a short-term win. Absolutely. You might go ahead and beat somebody up or take somebody's life, or, get somebody hurt or hemmed up. But I guarantee you that karma always come right back around. And now when you get caught, or when something happens to you and your family, you've ruined your entire legacy. You've ruined everything that you worked hard for. And that's what I feel Will Smith has done. He had such a wonderful reputation, in my opinion. Such a wonderful reputation as like a family man, a guy who like loves his kids, who wanted his kids to be a part of his life in every aspect, doing movies with them, traveling the world with them. He made it cool to be cool after 50. Like, I just feel like his legacy was being built in such a strong manner that he was gonna die a legend. And now, in an attempt to defend his honor, or defend his wife's honor, he may have simultaneously ruined the otherwise, perfect legacy that he was building for himself. Because now the culture is so divided about, toxic masculinity. Like, was he really displaying love, or was he displaying toxic masculinity? Was he displaying domestic violence? I know he didn't hit Jada, but the way he smacked that man out of nowhere made me rethink what I thought about him. I was like, well, I never assumed he was a violent person. In his book, he talks a lot about how he despises violence because of everything he's been through as a child, and how that's like a big trigger for him. And for that to be one of his first reactions, was just like, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, you went from laughing to smacking him in 1 second with a smile on your face. And that's why I think a lot of people thought it was staged, because how you go from one pendulum of emotion to the next. But if you listen to my lives a while ago, I did a live on Will Smith. It was like I think it was about pathological liars. And it was a live about Will Smith in his book, because in his book he admits to being a pathological liar and having like low key, he kind of slick admits to having multiple personalities in his book. And honestly, what I saw that night was multiple personalities. You saw Will Smith laughing, the jokester, the prankster. You saw Will Smith, the violent man. And then you saw Will Smith, the coward, who up on stage crying, reflective about his behavior with tears in his eyes. And he talks about that in his book, how he would create these identities for himself. And then he says something about he felt like he was King Richard in that moment, and sometimes art imitates life. It's like this guy was in character. Like, he ain't break character. Like, he was embodying King Richard that night in order to manifest winning that Oscar. I don't know what was up with him, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Exactly, you have to keep them balanced so he doesn't put himself or your family in a situation he can't out of. Absolutely. And honestly, T, I think that's why some women fail to secure a man for marriage. I think a lot of women underestimate the fact that what a man is really looking for. Like, they think this man wants a woman who's just gonna do everything for them, do all the work for them, clear all their obstacles out, fill out their paperwork, like be their mother. Like, a lot of women make the mistake of trying to mother these men instead of trying to be a balance to these men and bring them peace. Because honestly, I think most men just want peace. Most men want to know when he comes home, he gonna have some hot food, a warm bed, something nice to look at, in terms of looking at you, a couple jokes, maybe a stiff drink every once in a while, some nice good love making, and some talk and some plans and talk about the future. That's really what they want. That's really what they want. They want you to make life as easy for them as possible, and they want to feel like when they come home, they don't got to fight. Who want to fight in their own home when they got to fight against the whole world? Like, be a slice of peace in a man's life. If you the kind of woman that always riling your man up to do some nonsense, who's always riling your man up to be in the middle of some drama or some chaos, who always riling your man up, can you believe such and such disrespected me? Like, nah, this dude a problem. Like, you got to handle him. I need you to address him. If you the kind of woman that's always putting your man in a state of rage or violence or discontent, you are not wife material. You are a dangerous person. You are a dangerous person. And if that man doesn't realize sooner than later that you are a dangerous person, he's going to ruin his entire life trying to please you. Because nothing will make a man go to rage faster than feeling like somebody is trying to disrespect what he feels is his, meaning his wife. So you as his wife got to be that common force to be like, nah, babe, I'm good. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. Like, we going to talk to him after the show. We going to talk to him at the gold party, like Diddy said. We going to have a conversation with him when it's just us, and we gonna put him in his place. But we not about to ruin your night. We not about to give him what he asking for at this moment. I need you to calm down. Now, one time did I see Jada Pinkett, when that man got up to approach that stage, he was not accepting an award. My first reaction, if my husband did something like that, would have been to grab his arm, be like, hey, where you going? Like, you good? Or when he came back from smacking him, I would have immediately got up to go sit next to him, like, whoa, babe, you good? Like, she sat up there laughing. I don't know if you guys saw the video on TikTok. Somebody caught like the other vantage point of Jada Pinkett, and she was straight up laughing after Will smacked him. Like, she thought that it was so weird. It's been so weird that I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's trying to use like passive aggressive tactics to destroy his image, or if she just wants to be done. Like, she done with Hollywood, she done with fame, she done with everything. But her behavior has just been bizarre. Like, it's no way I would have laughed at that. I would have been terrified. I would have been like, oh my God, my husband's about to mess up his whole legacy. They might take his Oscar away. They might ban him from the Academy. This might affect his ability to get more movies. Like, you don't know how public perception is going to take the situation. And I don't think that any reputable company should support violence against another individual on a public platform, period. That's not good for their brand. It's not good for their brand. So, I don't know. It kind of messed me up. Let's not act like women don't influence how men handle certain situations. That's why I believe people have it confused with Will and Jada issue. Absolutely. Absolutely, T. Everybody want to act like, oh, it's not Jada's fault. Will's a man. He's a grown man. And I agree to an extent. Will is a grown man. He got to be in control of his own emotions, and he probably should have got help if he knew that he was boiling on the inside, and he was getting, when you about to reach your breaking point. But Jada Pinkett, who lives with him every single day, also knows when your husband's about to reach his breaking point. And as his wife, I just feel like your responsibility is risk mitigation. If you somebody's wife, like, how can I risk mitigate this situation? Because whatever my husband's about to do in this very public moment ain't worth what we about to lose on the outside. And at the end of the day, even if she don't like Will Smith anymore, even if she want a divorce, even if that's the case, what about your kids? Like, how about giving your kids a legacy they can hold on to? Like, I want my father to be remembered as one of the greatest men in history. He never abandoned his family. He ain't got no outside babies. He ain't got no people running out of the woodworks. He ain't got no criminal charges. My father ain't never really been to jail like that. My father ain't got no DUIs. He ain't got no drug charges. He ain't got no theft charges. My father made people laugh. He made people smile. He had one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And my father died a legend. You know, not my father did all of these great things, but yeah, he also one of the biggest moments of his life that will never be forgotten because he won Best Actor. So it's not even like we can like push this in the PR pile of the forgotten neighborhood. No, this will be a Jeopardy question. Like, you know the show Jeopardy, how they be like, in 2022, this actor smacked another comedian on stage. Who is Will Smith? This is gonna be a Jeopardy question, like, for the rest of your life. And I think that's what Jim Carrey had said. He was like, if I was Chris Rock, I would have sued Will Smith for $200 million. Like, I would make an example out of him. And I was like, I don't think Chris Rock going to sue him, but you never know, because Chris Rock, he not talking about it at his comedy show. He like, I'm still processing. And I don't know about y'all, but anytime a man say anytime anybody say they're still processing something after something crazy happened, you better be careful for your the lawsuit might be coming. You might be getting a lawsuit. You might be getting in a little bit more trouble than you thought you was going to get in. If Chris Rock had came out and started making jokes, I probably would have been less concerned, because, you know, now it's like you're retaliating, right? If Chris Rock started making jokes and humiliating Will Smith on public, then that's like retaliation. So now that mitigates his damages, right? His ticket sales went up after the smack, and now you're making money and profiting off of the situation. So now when you go to court, you kind of mitigated your damages. The fact that Chris Rock said, I'm still processing and I won't be talking about it, lets me know that this man is talking to a lawyer. This man is talking to a lawyer. He sure is. And I hope they prepared, because he got a strong case, and hopefully the DA don't pick up the case and he end up in with a record. Even if he get like misdemeanor assault, he's still gonna have a record. Rowie, why are you yelling, boo boo? What you talking about? I don't even know what you talking about. What you watching on that thing? But yeah, it's a hot ghetto mess. A hot ghetto mess. What do y'all think? Would you want your husband to put hands on somebody in public with like close to, I don't know, 20 million people watching? If somebody made a joke about you that doesn't seem to be, you know, like, he smacked that man, like he got up there and called Jada Pinkett a bald-headed bitch. Like he called her, you know, a whole bunch of whores and blah 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 blah. Like he went out guns blazing. Like, the disrespect was of epic proportion. And you don't know what, you know, struggles Jada Pinkett has on the inside, but she talks a lot about shaving her hair off. And a lot of people start digging up her old Red Table Talk tapes, where she basically said she shaved her hair off because she was tired of having to do it every day. She was tired of, like, I don't want to do my hair anymore. Like, I don't want to have to get it done. I just want to be free. Like, she didn't mention that she had any kind of medical condition. She made it seem like she was cutting her hair because she just was tired of doing it, kind of like how Tiffany Haddish had said. So it was kind of interesting that the narrative has changed between then and now. And I don't know, like, I don't know. It just was weird. It was a weird situation. It was a very weird situation. Very weird situation. But what did he say? It wasn't even about her condition. That thing was a joke about the movie. Exactly. It was like, and honestly, the movie is a super empowering movie. It's about a woman who becomes the first Navy SEAL in history. To you know what I mean? Like, it's such an empowering movie. And honestly, I can't even say that they didn't get the reference, because they're in Hollywood. They absolutely know what G.I. Jane is about. And it's a movie about a woman who takes her power back, who completes a very difficult training program, and is ultimately, you know, a hero. Like, it's a movie about a hero. And I was just like, I'm confused as to why it was taken so out of context and so aggressively. And it was weird. It was weird. And almost like she felt like, don't compare me to that white woman. Like, I almost feel she must got some kind of personal issue or something. Like, it just didn't seem that serious. Like, I don't know. Yes, Maverick. Yes, Maverick. You looking at your animals? But yeah, it just seemed weird to me. But I just wanted to come on and share my thoughts on honor versus legacy, and like how, as a woman, if you wanna be wifey material, if you wanna be the kind of woman that a man wants to marry and build a future with, then I'm giving you my advice on it. And my advice on it is, be his peace first and foremost. Be a source of peace for him. Secondly, be risk mitigation. Like, if you see your man about to do something crazy, you need to assess the risk reward proposition alongside him, and be like, all right, babe, I know you feeling like XYZ ABC, but have we considered DEF XYZ? Like, did you consider that before you about to go outside? Like, you sure that's what you really want to do? And if you give him all of his options and he still decide to go outside, then at least you was doing your job as a wife. But I'm not gonna sit there and let my husband ruin his life over something that ain't that serious. Now, it's different if a man put his hands on me. You know, that's different. Like, when it's like, oh, you put your hands on my wife, oh, that's on sight. Like, that's some unforgivable stuff. But over words, I don't know. Like, I don't know that I'm willing to let my husband ruin his life over words. I'm just not sure I'm near yet. I'm not sure I'm near yet. But oh, T. Lee said, she said, I lost respect for her. I mean, you know, T, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, I was like, maybe she was in shock like the rest of the audience. Like, maybe she didn't know what was about to happen, and it kind of caught her off guard. But after I saw that TikTok of her laughing like it was funny, I was like, ooh. Oh man, like, ooh. It's not funny. It's not funny to do that. It's not funny to smack somebody on national television. Nothing's funny about that. It's humiliating to Chris Rock, and it's image destroying for your husband. And especially coming off the heels of you talking about how your husband lets you run around in the streets with August Alsina and some entanglement, and how he can't really please you well in bed, and y'all been together for this long and he not good in bed, and the stuff that this woman been saying about him, I'm just like, this is just crazy. This is crazy. It's like, girl, you don't even like him. So just keep it real. You married to him. And I think somebody had released an article that somebody interviewed her, I want to say for People magazine, back in like 2019. I was watching an article on TikTok. Yes, baby. Mommy. Yes. Huh? You want your monster truck? I don't know what. Did you bring a monster truck in the car? Where are your dinos? Did you bring your Triceratops? Yeah, where's your dinos? Did you bring it? You brought it? But yeah, somebody had published an article in People magazine, and they basically was like that. They basically were like that. She wrote an article saying she never wanted to get married, and that basically she was pressured to marry Will Smith because she got pregnant, but that she never wanted to get married in the first place. And I was just like, you know, I wonder if she hangs that over his head, because Will Smith talks about in his book that he really wanted a family, like he, you know, like a family man kind of guy. And I wonder if she hangs that resentment over his head in their private life. Like, it's just something that makes me go, Like, I wonder if it's she constantly compares him to Tupac. Like, you know, that is such, what you call that, narcissistic manipulation. When somebody idolizes somebody that you could never measure up to, because honestly, this man is dead. So how are you going to compare me to somebody who I can never, ever, ever win against, because you've idealized this person so much in your mind that in order for me to compete with them, I would literally have to become immortal. And that's one thing that Jada Pinkett does that has always bothered me. And I get it that Tupac was your best friend. Like, I'm a huge Tupac fan. If you know me, like, I'm a huge Tupac fan. So I get it that Tupac was your best friend, and he was a very enlightened individual, and he was a force, like he was a powerful force. But for me to constantly compare my husband to somebody who's no longer with us, it's like me asking my husband to become a mythical god, because Tupac is a myth, right? your perception and memories of him are overshadowed by reality because there's no more reality to create. He's just an idea that still lives in your mind, and you can alter, shift, or recreate memories about people who are no longer with us because there's no more evidence to refute your analysis. Like the evidence is gone. Like, there's no story to keep being built. And so I would take issue if my husband compared me to somebody. Hey Crystal, how are you? I would take issue if my husband compared me to somebody who was no longer here. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I can't fight against the dead. I can't fight against the dead. That's an unrealistic expectation. And she does that to him all the time. Like, he talks about it in his book. Like, almost every long interview you will hear with Will Smith, even the ones he did on the Breakfast Club, Tupac comes up. It's like, who is this guy in your home? Like, why is this man still in my home? Why is he in your bed? Why is he in your wife's mind? He been passed for like 20 years. Like, what is going on right now? Like, that's not cool to me. It's not cool to me. And honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Their whole dynamic is weird. It's the disrespect for me, which is why I look at her differently. She has disrespected this man time after time in many ways. I agree. I think, you know, I think she has too. And she turns her nose up at certain gestures that he does for her. Like, one time he threw her like this huge birthday party. And you know, he did a video montage and all of this stuff, and she was like, this wasn't a party for me, this was a party for you. You just wanted to show off how good of a husband you are. You just wanted to show off, you know, you wanted everybody to know, look what Will did for his wife. This wasn't about your love for me. And I was just like, it's a lot going on in that relationship that, you know, people don't know about. It's a lot going on underneath the surface between them two. A lot going on beneath the surface. And, you know, sometimes maybe this was a wake-up call. Maybe it was a smack heard around the world for everybody else, but maybe it's a smack for Will Smith to be like, yo, maybe this ain't working out no more. You know, like, look at my career, look at my life, look at the press I got for myself, look the position I put myself in. For one moment of a smile from my wife, one moment of a laugh, to her to be pleased with me, to be pleased with my performance. Look at what I've done to myself. She didn't have anything at risk. Jada ain't got nothing at risk. She wasn't losing no Oscar. She ain't losing no money. If he divorced her tomorrow, she gonna take half that empire and keep it moving. Her kids are grown. Like, what is she losing? Nothing, right? But before you divorce that man, you gonna make sure you take everything from him, including his perfect image. You don't get to leave this marriage with a perfect image. You get to leave this marriage exposed. Because honestly, it's looking like a setup to me. Like, if I really apply my psychoanalytical skills to this situation, it's giving very much so setup. And I hate to say that, but it's giving, before I leave you, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to make sure everybody knows who you are beneath the surface. I'm going to make sure everybody knows that you do lose control of your emotions sometimes, and that you are not this perfect guy, and that you do have a violent tendency. I'm going to let everybody know that you're not good in bed. I'm going to let everybody know that I cheated on you and you took me back. I'm going to let everybody know that you are weak. You are a weak man. That's how I see it is playing out. That's how I see it's playing. Will is good for her image, but I think she wants to take away the one thing he loves most, which is his image, his ego. And if she's I don't know. Something about it just makes me feel very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. You know, very, very uncomfortable. And I hope, I pray for healing for the both of them. And in her snot remark on Instagram after he wrote that apology, it's a great time for healing for everyone. What are you talking about? Like, how tone deaf can you be? How tone deaf can you be? Like, sis, if you don't have nothing productive to say, don't say anything, because you didn't have to say anything. You could have just kept it quiet. You could have let Will handle this problem because it's his problem, but you adding fuel to the fire. Sometimes it's time for healing for us all. Well, who? Healing for who? I don't know. Like, your husband could literally face serious consequences for his actions. Not cool. She's slowly ending him. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, she's coming, like, she's willing to make herself look crazy, in order to get her point across. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, my husband wrote this long, lengthy apology, but really what we thinking back home is he got what he deserved. Because when somebody makes a comment like it's a good time for healing for us all, it's kind of like everybody got what they deserved in the situation. That's essentially what she was saying. Like, Will got what he deserved because now people get to see him for who he really is. Chris Rock got what he deserved because I'm tired of him talking about me and keeping my name in his mouth. And I got what I deserved because I wanted to feel like I still had control in my relationship, and then I can make my man act a fool on national television to defend my honor. We all got what we were looking for. That's basically what she was saying, and that's how I interpreted her quote. I didn't interpret it as, hey, I knew, Will was in a difficult situation. I was caught off guard by what happened, but Will and I have since spoken and we're on the same page that violence is never the answer. We apologize to the academy, but I appreciate my husband for trying to do what he thought was right in the moment. But at the end of the day, we both understand that violence is never the option, in situations like this. And, we apologize to the academy. Like, she could have just said that or something. Like, listen, I'm letting my husband take the lead here, but, I understand that violence is never the answer. That's all she had to say. That's all she had to say. Did you read August post? No, I didn't read August post. But look what she did to August Alsina after that entanglement. That man is messed up in the head. Talk about something, I saved him. I wanted to rescue somebody. It's like, girl, what you mean you want to save somebody? Lord, that boy is a baby. He is a baby. Like, you got him by like 20 plus years. Like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. It was that August thing got me messed up. It got me all the way messed up. It got me all the way messed up. I didn't read what August said, Crystal. I wish I had it because I would definitely love to know what he said. But he basically insinuated on the Red Table Talk that Jada Pinkett was a controlling narcissist. That was all about her and her needs, and she threw him out like trash when she no longer needed him. And that's exactly what she's doing to Will Smith. When she no longer needs him, she gonna throw him out like trash. You better be careful with these women you be picking. Better be careful. You better be careful. Because sometimes a woman will convince you to destroy your own life in the name of her honor. In the name of her honor, be like, you gonna let these people talk to me like that? You gonna let these people disrespect me? You gonna let these people make a fool out of me? And now he up here making phone calls. He up here trying to rally up the troops. He up here trying to catch a case. And next thing you know, he done ruined his whole life, ruined your life, and ruined his legacy and ruined your legacy. Because I can't think of nobody, not one person in history, who did something stupid trying to defend somebody's honor and walked away scot-free. It just don't happen. It don't happen. You will get caught and you will be under the jail. Either you're going to be under the jail or somebody in your own family going to get hurt the same way you tried to hurt me and mine. There ain't no winning in that. There's no winning in fights of honor. Fight for your legacy. And when you fight for your legacy, you make much better decisions. And you don't focus on your problems. You focus more on your solutions. That's a legacy driven motive individual. And that's the kind of man I would want to be with. I want to be with a man who's like, I'm not fighting for no honor. I'm fighting for my legacy. So instead of me focusing my energy on all this negative crap, I'm gonna focus my energy on building more money. I said this in my last live. That I love Jay-Z for this one quote when Jay-Z was like, yo, I don't gotta destroy you. I just won't make no money with you. Like, that's my mentality about everything in my life. I'm not fighting with nobody about nothing. I'm not trying to destroy you. I'm not trying to take money out of your pocket, nothing. I don't got to destroy you. I just won't make money with you because if I focus all of my energy on building my own legacy and my own livelihood, eventually I'm going to get to a point where you need me and I don't need you. And you're gonna want to make a phone call like, hey, I got a question, or hey, you mind if we do a collab, or hey, blah blah blah, and you're not even gonna be able to reach me. Like, I'm not gonna destroy. I just want to make money with you. That's a legacy building man. That's the kind of man you need to be with. A man talk about something. He said, "What do you?" Nah, I'm getting out the car. Like, this man gonna have to give me my 5 minutes. All right, that sound cute. That sound cute. Until he in jail, and now you trying to put money on his commissary until he got a felony and now he'll never work again until he in prison facing 3 to 5. until he in prison facing charges on conspiracy and kingpin activity and drug activity and gang activity. It sound good until he's doing 25 to life. It sound good until he can't be at your kids' baseball games, football games, cheer practices, swimming lessons, or whatever y'all do as gymnastics, whatever. It sound good until he ain't there. And what he in for? Oh, he in for because these people was trying to try me, and he said, "Nah, I'm good. Like, you not about to play in my face." That's why he in jail. He was defending my honor. Oh yeah, okay. I ain't never seen it. Look what happened. I hate to bring this up, but look what happened with the famous twins and their father. He was outside trying to defend his daughter's honor, and where did that lend him? God bless his soul. Where did that lend him? Deceased. Deceased. God bless his soul. Where did that land him? Deceased. Go ahead and try to defend somebody's honor and see where that land you. It ain't either prison or dead. Defend your legacy. It's a lot more productive. What did Crystal say? He talks about his trauma of being hit in the face and robbed and dealing with trauma. Chris has Asperger's. Yes, Chris does have Asperger's. And people with Asperger's are exceptionally gifted at like one thing. Like they have a laser focus on one thing, which for Chris is his comedy, which he talked about in like an interview. I think it was a Breakfast Club interview. But people with Asperger's have no social awareness. Like they can't read the room. They can't tell that their joke hurts your feelings. They don't know how to understand facial expressions. They don't understand tone. They don't have no concept of social skills or whether or not they're being rude. People with Asperger's just say what's on their mind as it comes to their mind. There's no filter, but it is a medical condition. It's not them trying to be mean. And if he really does have that confirmed diagnosis, then that's a crime against a disabled person. That's a crime against a disabled person. Because Asperger's is a diagnosed disability, like legit disability. Like you can get SSI for that. That is a crime against a disabled person. That essentially, if Chris really want to swing, it could be like, yo, that's a hate crime. Because they would have to prove that Chris Rock had prior knowledge of Jada's condition and that he was understood she had alopecia. And I don't think they can prove that. So it just comes off as like an innocent joke. And but Chris did come out on radio and announce that he has Asperger's, or he has some learning disability. I forget what he called it, Crystal. I don't know if he said it was Asperger's. It was some diagnosis he said that is like Asperger's, but it's a mess. It's a ghetto mess. I feel bad for Chris Rock too, because this is going to be a big part of his career as well. He'll be forever known as the guy who got smacked by Will Smith. And that's why he got to do something about it. That's why he has to do something about it. I don't fault Chris Rock one bit. If Chris Rock came out tomorrow and said, I'm suing Will Smith for $60 million, I wouldn't fault him one bit. It wouldn't make me think one bit different about him, because that was crazy for Will Smith to do. And if Chris Rock came out and was like, you know what, me and Will Smith talked behind the scenes, he gave me a sincere apology, I accept his apology, we're moving forward, I would still have respect for him. And I would feel a little bit better about it. But Will Smith got on that stage and did not apologize to Chris Rock initially. He only apologized when they started threatening to take his Oscar away and we started getting bad press. That was not a genuine apology. That was a forced PR move. And I ain't like that. I ain't like that. But Jada is in a video saying she doesn't care what anyone thinks of her hair. Yeah, I saw that on TikTok. I love my bald head. I don't care what anybody thinks about my. Well, clearly you do, sis. Clearly you do. And instead of just being honest and being like, you know what, not having hair really impacts my life. Some days I have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. It's something that's really sensitive to me. Then I think people would have felt, me personally, I would have felt a lot more empathy. But you getting on trying to put on this boss bee mentality, you unbothered and unaffected, but deep down inside you are very bothered and you are very affected. So don't get mad at people when they meet you where you are. If you go around saying that you're confident in the way that you look, and somebody says, I don't like the way that you look, and you want to start crying about it, you really got no ground to stand on, because people aren't meeting you where you said you were. You said you were confident and unbothered, so now people testing whether or not you are truly confident and unbothered. It's the test. So if you're not confident and you are bothered, just keep it real. That's how I see it. Like, keep it real. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I wish I was skinnier, or I wish my skin was clearer, or I wish I was taller, or whatever. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with being human. It's nothing wrong with being human. That's what I said. Who made him apologize? It is a very disturbing marriage, they knows. But yeah, Crystal, his PR made him apologize. I could tell you that. That was a PR move. Like, his PR person was like, listen, you got to write a public apology. The press from this is looking crazy. The country's really divided on how to feel about it. Because, I think celebrities get judged by the court of public opinion. That's how they decide how to handle situations. Like, they read the first press runs. They listen to the daytime news. They listen, they go into the blogs. They go into the undergrounds of Twitter. They look at the algorithms. They're like, well, what's the general consensus? They're like, well, 77.6% of people think Will Smith is wrong and should apologize. And 33% say Will Smith is in the right and was defending his wife. And then he makes a decision from there. Like, that's how I feel it went. I don't feel like it was genuine whatsoever. I don't feel like it's genuine whatsoever. He got on national television and said, Denzel Washington said to me that when you're at your highest, that's when the devil comes for you. I'm like, so now you blaming this on the devil? You blaming this on the devil. Now, I get why Denzel said that. I'm not judging Denzel Washington for saying that, because that's what a normal friend would say. A normal friend would be like, when you at your highest, that's when the devil come for you. Like, you got to be focused. Like, this you under attack right now. Like, a friend is supposed to say that to you. But for you to get on stage and try to use that as an excuse, like, yeah, the devil's after me. Like, I'm under attack. I'm under spiritual warfare by the devil. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, my man? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I was like, did he really just get up here and try to blame the devil? Did he really just do that? I'm like, oh, he did. Will Smith got on national television and said the devil made him do it. He did. Nope. A mess. A mess. A hot ghetto mess. People blame everything on the devil. Yeah. Tennessee Hennessy cracked me up. When he said that, you should have seen my face. I was like, did he just get up there and say the devil made him do it? Did he just literally say that? I was like, what? And that's the part that made me be like, oh, this man nuts. He going through something. He got a rage in him. Because the devil ain't had nothing to do with that. You did that because of your own ego, your own emotions, and your own whatever. Like, that was all you, bro. Everybody want to give the devil credit for stuff he had. Sometimes the devil, it ain't the devil. Sometimes it ain't the devil. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the devil. I do believe, sometimes the devil comes for people. I'm not going to say that's not true. But some things just stop. Stop using the devil as a scapegoat. Because that was wild, what he said. That was straight up wild. Then he was out partying, posting on his IG, I chose chaos. I chose chaos. I can't take anyone from Philly, Baltimore. Anyway, yeah, I saw that on his TikTok. Whatever. That's why the apology just, I don't know. But he gonna do what he do, and we'll see if he, faces any legitimate consequences. Time will tell. Time will definitely tell on that situation. But I am almost to my destination. Thank you to you beautiful ladies for keeping me company in the chat as I rambled and babbled on about this Will Smith situation. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.